Hey, everybody, welcome into Mornings with Loretta. And what a show we have today. Our guest is super amazing. And I can't tell you how excited we are because we have not talked about this subject in a long time. And so who better to come talk about it with us than Shannon Pope with Sony Electronics. So welcome to the show, Shannon.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So October marks the beginning of Audiology Awareness Month, a crucial period to highlight the importance of hearing health, which I personally don't think we talk enough about. And so you're here to help us explore the latest advancements in hearing solutions. So I'm super excited. So how many people deal with hearing loss, and why is there a delay in addressing it?
Yes, so it's estimated that 48 million Americans experience hearing loss, and that number is expected to continue to grow. And there are some barriers that people face when considering hearing aids. There's barriers around the stigma of wearing hearing aids, and with the cost, and the time of seeing the doctor. So with this new market of over-the-counter hearing aids, we are aiming to help remove those barriers and allow for an easy do-it-yourself solution. So with it being over-the-counter, meaning no doctor's prescription is required.
That is great news. And I wonder if is there a stigma associated with this, that, the hearing aids used to be so noticeable and bulky, and then people are in denial. I guess there are a lot of factors to dealing with that. So what are some of the important factors that people should consider when selecting the right, since now no prescription is needed? How can we make an informed choice over the counter for our hearing needs?
Yeah, so it is important to be proactive with your hearing health, and we have an online solution for that you could take at electronics.sony.com/hearing test, and you can take that assessment. And for those with mild to moderate hearing loss, we've got some great options available on the market.
Loretta, I think you muted yourself.
Yes, I am. So I'll ask that question again. So can you share some of the resources to help individuals with hearing loss choose the right device and manage their hearing? It's kind of a second part to that first question I just asked.
Yeah, so we've got resources available. Consumers can learn more at electronics.sony.com. We also have an online hearing assessment for those over the age of 18 at electronics.sony.com/hearing test. So they can take that assessment and see that evaluation and see, what options could work for them. We've got 2 models available, and to see which one fits in their lifestyle.
I love that. I had no idea, just full transparency, that Sony was a provider of hearing devices. So since you are a key player in that space of over-the-counter hearing aids, can you tell us more about some of the newly introduced? You just told us 2. So what should we look for, the newest one versus the older one? And then that's it.
We've got 2 available on the market today. One model is the C10. So very small, very discreet, virtually invisible once you have it in your ear. We also have the E10 model, which is more of an earbud style model. So both of those are available today. They're both can be controlled via a app for your mobile device. Again, both very small, easy to use, easy to get.
Okay, so Shannon, I really want to invite you back because we need more time to really talk about hearing loss, because I'm sure no one had an idea how many millions of Americans are affected by hearing loss. So thank you for being my guest this morning.
Hey, thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So we're going to keep it moving today. Don't go anywhere. We have 3 more amazing segments. And so coming up next is a spotlight on equity, diversity, and inclusion in the world of tech. I don't think this conversation has been had on our show, so I can only assume it's not being had in other areas. But some people have figured it out. They have figured out that women in tech and non-binary need this awareness. We need to talk about women in tech, and who better to talk about it than Jenny Anderson Frazier, VP of Business Development, Customer Service at AnitaB.org, and Dr. Pamela Gibbs, Chief Product Officer at AnitaB.org. So ladies, welcome to Mornings with Loretta.
Thank you so much for having us.
No, I'm super excited. And next year, you got to let me know so I can come to the Grace Hopper.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Welcome.
honey, I will
Absolutely.
bring all this energy there as an
need
advocate
it.
for women in tech.
Yes, ma'am.
You can sit with us.
Yes.
I am here for this. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the work that you're doing as well. So let's just jump back in here, because I know you all have a lot going on, because you're actually live at the, oh my goodness, you're live. I see everybody in the background. That is so cool. It doesn't take much to get me excited. So why is the diversity, equity, inclusion and belonging so critical in tech? When you think of tech, you're thinking about isolation, you're thinking about a smaller market of people, but it is super important, right? So how do we get other people to understand that?
Yeah, so I'm a Tennessee native. My family is from Morgan and Fentress County, way over on the east central side. I'm the first woman in my family not to run moonshine or work in a shirt factory. So like for me, tech gave me economic mobility. It gave me a path out of poverty. It gave me a way to be able to avoid ever falling back into homelessness. So like it has been life-changing. And for me, that's what this is. And that's why it's so important for tech. Like we can't have a tech ecosystem that is not representative of every lived experience that is in this world. So what we're really aiming for is to create a tech workforce that looks like the people that engage with and interact and are impacted by tech. Like you said, you know, tech seems isolated. Girl, pick up your phone. Like you got every app possible there. And there are technologists and women who that technology was built by, and we got to make sure that it's also built for us, not just by us.
Absolutely.
I agree with that 100%. But I mean, the people, the faces of people in tech are hitting. Of course, this is my best friend. It's like I birthed this thing. It's like an extension of an organ. So I hate that it's always with me, but I'm happy at the same time. So I'm here to celebrate the people who made that possible. So what are some of the key takeaway Dr. Pamela gives of the Grace Hopper celebration?
I think you just called it out, talking about there are people that are invisible. We want to talk about the person, Rear Admiral Grace Hopper, who this conference is named after. Please look her up. We want to talk about AnitaB.org. Anita B is named after, you know, we want to talk about Heidi Lamar. We want to talk about Katherine Johnson. We are here to advance women and non-binary technologists within the space. Right behind us, as you mentioned, there's so much going on. We have 30,000 people in attendance online and in person, in addition to upwards of 300 companies that are looking to further our mission. So amplifying our stories and being vocal about it, being an ally, joining local communities and supporting organizations like AnitaB.org is incredibly, incredibly critical to furthering the mission.
Oh, wow. You all are in it to win it with this. I'm telling you. I mean, people are going to get excited, and your passion for this is so contagious that I just want to say, I want to predict that 2024 GHC will double in space and time and people, because you are doing the job. Yeah. You are doing what? You are like the epitome of awareness advocates for a subject or people or a person. You're making it happen. You're making it accessible for everybody. And then this is the other part, and I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you, and I know you have to go, but there are a lot of actual steps that we can take to support diversity and equity in tech. And you all have some allies that we don't tend to support and cherish, and that's men. We know that they're married to techies, right? Or they are working with techies, but we should not, and we're just because we're saying go women in tech and non-binary, we're not saying down to men. So we want to first make that clear, because they're our allies. So how are you merging the two without negating or watering down your vision for women in tech by bringing men on board or allowing them to support or encouraging them to support? Okay, I guess that must mean we have to wrap it up, because I cannot hear you. So we're going to wrap up, and you guys got to come back. You know how to find me. Let's make this happen. I don't know what happened. Was it control room? Was it audio? I don't know.
Can you hear us? We can hear you.
I can hear you, but I could not hear Jenny.
You cannot hear Jenny. Okay.
I hear her now. Yeah.
Okay, she can hear you now.
I don't know if you have to go. I don't know what that means.
Oh no, we're fine. Are we fine on time? We're fine.
Go ahead and answer the question. How are we supporting and encouraging men to be our allies?
Yeah, so we can't do this work without male allies, right? Like there are a lot of bad actors in the world, so we really need men who are true allies and champions to be able to stand up and speak up. That means getting out of the way whenever, you know, a woman deserves a shot. That means speaking up whenever you see inequities, whenever you see bad behaviors, even if it's for a peer. It means being able to be vocal and assist and championing people along in their career journeys, mentoring and providing guidance and support, and really being able to bridge that gap. Like this is not something that we can do alone in isolation. It requires the work of everyone if we're going to make it better for everyone.
When I say we're having some technical problems and I got people calling from New York, I didn't know if it was your team or not. So where can we go for more information, and where are you? What beautiful city are you in for GHC 2023?
Well, this year we're in Orlando, Florida, and like our name, AnitaB.org, that is exactly where you go. We make it very easy for you to support, for you to check us out, and for you to see what other initiatives that we are involved in. So AnitaB.org.
AnitaB.org. I'll make sure that it is in the comments. And I'm telling you, your energy and your passion is truly contagious. I won't say I'm non-techie because I can figure stuff out. It's just my thing is more on the creative side. And I have an app and everything, and I still don't know how to work it. But Jenny, go, honey, Tennessee. We Tennessee girls rock. And Dr. Pamela, you're going to be an official Tennessean because I love you already.
I love it. Thank you for embracing me. And actually, I want to correct you on that. You are a technologist. You are a technologist. Yes,
I will add that to my resume.
Put it on LinkedIn, girl. It's LinkedIn official.
You all have made me official. I feel the love. So please just come back and join us, okay?
Absolutely.
We will. Thank you so much.
Kudos to all women and non-binary people in tech. We do cherish you and we appreciate you so much. Couldn't do it without you. All right, they have to go, but let me tell you, the show does not stop here. It does not stop here. Coming up next, I'm telling you, I got to tell you a funny thing. Once I bring my guest on, once Adam is coming on stage, I got to tell you something really funny and very hilarious when I tell you about the ask that I made. Adam, you're going to probably hit the floor when you hear what I asked for. So the rapid advancement of drone technology is having a major impact on critical industries in the U.S. And as drones have become indispensable tools, driving both innovation and efficiency, joining us now to discuss is the co-founder and CEO of leading U.S. drone manufacturer Skydio, Adam Bry. Adam, welcome to Mornings with Loretta.
Great. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to hear this story. What is it?
Okay, so you want to start there? So
I don't know. You tell me.
I have a really good relationship with your PR company, two of the most amazing PR rep there, Ronnie and Susan. So I asked Ronnie when I heard we were doing the show on drones. I said, you know what? Ask them if they'll send me one. And I'm not thinking it's this big, powerful drone that, you know, these major companies and government officials are using. I'm thinking it's a non-professional drone. So I asked for one. So thank God she didn't say I could have one because I don't have storage for it. So that was a funny story.
Yeah.
This grade of technology doesn't need to be in my hands nor anybody who doesn't know it. So Adam, thank you for being our guest today. And congratulations on your new 10. I love that. So how is drone technology helping transform critical industries in the United States?
Well, you know, just like your story there, I think a lot of people are familiar with drones as fun toys, you know, maybe kids' gift for Christmas. You can fly around and have some fun and capture some cool video. And we think all that stuff is awesome. But the most valuable potential of drones, we believe, is putting sensors in really important places to capture data that you wouldn't be able to get any other way to help people make better decisions. So we have customers in public safety, we have customers at energy utilities and construction companies, transportation agencies, and all of these folks are using drones as part of their day-to-day operations to perform inspections, get real-time situational awareness, make better decisions that help them do their jobs better, and ultimately help all of us, you know, run and operate civilization. You know, a lot of these are the core industries that we all depend on every day, even though we don't see it.
Absolutely. So I I'm embarrassed that I asked for a drone of that capability because I don't need it. And I can't. So pronounce the name of the company. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly.
So the company's called Skydio. The name comes from putting together
Skydio.
Sky
Okay.
Studio. Yeah.
So Skydio recently unveiled their latest enterprise drone. I love the name of it. So what can you tell us about the new technology powering the next generation of drones?
So we just launched the Skydio X10, and this brings together two really powerful things. So it's got the best sensors ever in a drone its size. So it's got incredibly high resolution cameras. They can see all the way down to a 0.1 millimeter crack in concrete for a civil engineering inspection, just as one example. And then it pairs those amazing sensors with groundbreaking artificial intelligence. So we've really built the skills of an expert pilot into the drone. So it's capable of mapping and understanding its environment, predicting into the future, making intelligent decisions. And our goal in doing this, in bringing cutting edge AI to drones, is just to make drones more useful to more people. So it used to be you had to be an expert pilot to fly a drone. With our advanced AI, really anybody's capable of flying a drone and having it do useful stuff for them. So even though it's not designed as a consumer product, it's the kind of thing that you or any one of your listeners would probably be able to fly and have it perform an automated inspection or that kind of thing.
Seriously, you really think I could do it after I just told you what I confessed to?
I know you could.
Okay.
Yeah,
I may have to
absolutely.
take you up on that. I'll come to you and we'll do a test, right? You'll give me some instruction as a pilot of an official way above my pay grade drone, and then I'll fly it just for a second. How about that?
Absolutely. We can get you
great TV. So you are the co-founder and you have 2 decades of experience with a small UAS starting at 16. And you were a national champion RC airplane acrobatic pilot.
Yeah. So it's kind of a niche hobby within a niche hobby. I took this stuff way too seriously as a kid. I spent most of my childhood in my basement building radio controlled airplanes. So that's how I got interested in aviation and engineering. And then I was fortunate to be starting grad school at MIT around the time when you could take radio controlled airplanes and put computers and sensors on them and then start to write software to get them to do smart stuff. And that was really the genesis of Skydio. My co-founders and I were working on this stuff as grad students, and it was fun and interesting and challenging. But we started the company because we started to see like, wow, this stuff we've been working on in the lab could have incredible real world impact. And the autonomy technology in particular seemed like the thing that would really unlock the potential there, which is why we started Skydio. It's what we've been focused on since we started in 2014. And now we can see that vision and that mission coming to life with our customers.
Wow. So your story is phenomenal. And the more I talk to you, the more super impressed. And I'm just in love with this whole thing. So congratulations, because in 2021, you were appointed to the FAA's Drone Advisory Committee. And that's a rarity. You're gonna not find a lot of people who've been appointed to that. So super congratulations. And Adam, I know you have to go, but please tell me you're gonna come on and let's make it happen where you teach me how to fly that industrial drone, because the industries that are using it just blows my mind, because I just think about real estate and homeowners like me or people trying to sell something, but energy, public safety, construction, defense, and so much more are using that kind of great drone. So thank you so much for founding Skydio and sharing it with the world. See you and talk to you soon, okay?
All right, thanks for having me on, and we'll get you in the air in a minute or less. You'll be flying in no time.
There you go. I'm going to hold you to it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hey,
right,
real
thanks.
quick, Loretta, this is Kevin in the control room. Would you like us to roll some B-roll for you if you'd want to?
I would love for you to roll B-roll. Yes, I want my audience to see this technology.
Yeah, we'll be sure to do that right now. And then do you have an air date for this just yet?
No, but I'll get a sidebar for you, because we're going back live to all our markets starting Sunday. So yeah, we'll make it happen.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, here
Roll
comes
that
the B-roll.
B-roll.
Have a good one.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. You should come see this. And I guess waiting. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. My son has a drone that he flies. Takes a lot of photography with it.
Oh my goodness. FBI agent using it.
We have to have some licenses or something if you're gonna plant. Should know that.
One more. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to keep it moving because my next guest, this is the fourth of four, and I'm super excited about this. Again, we need to talk more about this. I'm super excited that one of the country's foremost medical experts on ADHD is here with us, Dr. Neil Hollowell, and the executive producer of The Disruptors, the first comprehensive documentary ever done on ADHD, a film where she has inspired to create as a result of her family's experience. So welcome these esteemed people in my heart now, my new friends and family, Dr. Neil Hollowell and Nancy Armstrong. Hi, and thank you for your patience.
No problem.
Thank you.
I mean, because you're Dr. Neil, you just said like you are the creme de la creme when it comes to this topic. You are the country's foremost authority on ADHD, and it is a joy and a privilege that you are here. Okay, I just got to put that out there.
Thank you so much. By the way, my first name is Ned, not Neil.
Ned, okay, that's a typo here. I'm so sorry. I want to make sure I get it correct.
Good. You got the last name right, though. That's good.
Okay. Some brownie points. Thank you, Dr. Ned, for that. So, Nancy, tell me, we'll start with you because you created this documentary because there was nothing else out there, obviously, and because your family had experience navigating life with ADHD. So, can we just start there? And then I'll go back to our leading medical expert, Dr. Ned.
Sure. Well, I raised 3 children with ADHD, which was no easy feat. And I figured out pretty quickly that this is a deeply misunderstood diagnosis. So I wanted to create a film which didn't exist and a campaign that would cut through that confusion and misinformation and all the pervasive myths around ADHD by democratizing the best information available by the top experts in the field like Ned and others. We want to liberate parents and children to know that they're not alone and that there is an upside to ADHD. So this is really reframing this from a deficit disorder to a brain type or a trait that has some challenges that need to be managed, but that also has some pretty significant and impressive strengths.
That's so beautifully said. I just want to stay there, but I have a very limited time. I think Dr. Ned did he have to leave because I had some questions for him? Oh, there he is. So Dr. Ned, as a leading medical expert on ADHD, can you shed some light on the prevalence of ADHD in both children and adults in America? Because it seemed like the last 20 to 30, not even 30 years, you hear more about it. I don't think when I was coming up, I heard ADHD as much as what we're hearing now. Is it that it was underdiagnosed before? Because you've been working in this field a long time.
It was. When I was a kid in school in the 1950s, there were 2 diagnoses, smart and stupid. And there was one treatment plan, try harder or get punished, get hit, and so but that's not as bad as it was a few hundred years ago where you'd be tortured or put to death. It was seen through the lens of morality and innate gift or innate curse. So we're way better off now than even when I was in school, because now we know there's more to what the brain does than smart or stupid. And there are better ways to help than punishing or telling someone to work harder. It's very liberating, letting these kids out of jail. The problem is a lot of people still keep them in jail. They haven't metabolized this knowledge, so they haven't learned how to draw out the upside of this condition. The schools still want everyone to pretty much behave and perform the same way. Write a paper, hand it in on time. Although now they've got to check to make sure AI isn't writing it. But it's a passive way of being educated. Where we ADDers, I have it myself. We are very active learners. The best way for us to learn is to give us a project to do. It's the way medicine was taught when I was in medical school. We give us a patient, and then we learn by, tinkering with the patient. So we do best with project-based learning, and that's not how most schools operate. We don't do so well with assignments and writing papers that we don't care anything about. Our motivation and our expertise and our high performance follows our interest. And when we're interested, we super focus. But when we're bored, it's our kryptonite. We just can't do it. And so this is what schools need to understand. It's not that a child is refusing to do it. It's that child can't. And a lot of people, because they don't have ADD, don't believe that, BS. You just get down there and try harder. There's nothing that a good kick in the pants won't fix. These kids have been kicked in the pants for hundreds of years. Doesn't work.
It does not work. And you are saying it as somebody who's experienced it, and you're telling them it does not work. So Nancy, is that something you figured out? How did you know Dr. Ned prior to this collaboration?
Yes, I've known Ned for years, and I was so lucky to have someone like him, in our lives, and that I could ask for, guidance when, going through raising 3 children with ADHD, and also my husband has ADHD. So he was very helpful to us as parents in navigating that journey, because, the parental unit has to stay together, and it can really rip at the seams when you have not 1, but 3 children who have this to contend with, because it's very difficult to grow up with ADHD, and they are going to need more support. But if we can get them through to adulthood intact, these are creative, imaginative people who will end up being our innovators, our entrepreneurs, our award-winning artists, our business leaders, our Olympic athletes. So we need to take care of them on their way to adulthood, and we need society as a whole to understand that this is who they are. They're not just people who struggle. They're also people that have tremendous gifts.
Absolutely. We need to put that on t-shirts and in a book. So I have this one last question, because I know you have to go, but I need you to come back. We got to have more conversations. We have to normalize this conversation about ADHD, first of all. That will help us remove the stigmas when we normalize how people with ADHD and families of those people are valuable. They're rock stars if you give them what they need to be successful. So Dr. Ned, let me ask you this before you go. How can we help educators and families to remove the stigmas and teach people, children, families with ADHD so that they can be successful? How can we normalize these conversations?
It all comes back to education. Teach them what we've learned and what we know.
Go to upsideofadhd.org for more information and resources.
Man, this time goes so fast. So I'm going to reach out to your PR people, because I want to have a do-over where we have more time, because I personally want to become an advocate for this, to create more awareness and education, because we're losing people, and society are losing, like you said, the next innovators, the next Steve Jobs or somebody, because we don't know how to teach.
Losing our best people. That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for all you do. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, all right, we made it through, and I warned you that we were going to be on a roller coaster ride today, because I felt like each segment, each topic was one that we need to all have more conversations about, and not just today's segments, but everything that I do. It is to give us more information. These are not normalized conversations, but they need to be, especially with the ADHD. Just think, if we had Dr. Ned and Nancy in our lives or on more shows telling us that people with ADHD we need to get rid of the stigmas. It's the first thing we need to do. Quit punishing people because they're not learning the way you think they should learn in school or on jobs. Find a way to reach them, give them something to build. And that is just, it works for me. I'm a hands-on person. I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD, but I feel like sometimes I may have a characteristic of it sometimes. And I think we all do. I think we just need to know more about it, become more wise about the subject. So I'm going to go backwards in the order that we did these segments. So that was ADHD. Please go to the website. I'll make sure I put it in the comments. And then we had Skydio with Adam, this drone technology. technology is not going anywhere. For those who wish it would go away, even your phones, you're wishing those away. But honey, that would be a lot of information that I would lose if it went away. So learn more about Skydio and Adam Bry. And then we talked about supporting women in tech and non-binary people. We love their products. We love the results of their work and their sacrifices, but very seldom do we champion for them. So the Grace Hopper conference they're holding every year is a way of making it happen, and also introducing more technology that we need and updates. And then the first one that we had was Shannon Pope. She's the diversity and equity queen at Sony Electronics, about the accessibility of hearing aids. You can get them over the counter. You do not have to have a prescription, kind of like reading glasses. You don't have to have a prescription. You just go to Dollar Tree or Walmart, CVS, or wherever you go in, or some of the higher end stores, and get your reading glasses. So now you can go and get your hearing aids. And that is great news. That is worthy of celebrating. So in closing, because you know what, we've done a lot today. A lot of good was done, but I need to close out the show. So as I always do in closing, think positive, dream big dreams, help someone along the way. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Your life live today.